Alright, so all you Rick and Morty fans out there might remember that a few months ago, we got to see an episode in the most recent season of the show titled Vindicators 3, The Return of Worldender. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this one, I'm not really sure why, but that having been said, I am a big fan of the titular Vindicators, a group of superheroes described in the episode's official promo as more badass than the Avengers.
The Vindicators are essentially a more badass version of the Avengers.
There's Vance Maximus, the suave leader of the team who's big on casual drinking.
Sorry I'm late. It was happy hour.
Alan Rails, who can summon and make use of ghost trains.
All aboard, mother...
Supernova, who can make handcuffs and fire energy bolts.
What the hell is Israel?
Million Ants, a swarm of ants that come together to make a human shape.
I am back to 1 million ants.
And can apparently have sex with women.
I conceived a child with million ants and it died inside me.
And Crocubot, the half robot, half crocodile with lasers. Yeah, that's awesome. Now these guys may seem super cool, but the real question here is how powerful are they? Well, that's gonna be a little hard to figure out. I mean, even though they seem awesome, they didn't really do anything. We saw them do some stuff, but most of them kind of died after a drunken Rick set up all these Saw-style games for them to try to get through. But hey, I said it was gonna be hard, not impossible. We can figure this out. Just to let you guys know before I get into the video though, I am gonna be making a few assumptions and highballing some of these feats because, like I said earlier, we don't really get to see them do a whole lot. But whatever, let's get into the video. So right off the bat, I think we can all agree that we can skip Vance Maximus, right? I mean, yeah, the Renegade Star Soldier seems like he's the leader of the Vindicators, so you'd think he'd be pretty powerful or something, but he's the only one on the team who literally doesn't do anything. He just sort of stands around and gets triggered in like 5 seconds before accidentally killing himself. So yeah, f that guy. Instead, let's start off with Alan Rails, the Green Lantern / Steel parody. Now maybe it's the steam whistle he has hanging around his neck, or the outfit he wears, or the fact that the trains he makes in the episode are clearly steam locomotives. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm getting the idea that this guy's limited to only making steam locomotives. That having been said, nobody ever mentioned whether or not he has a limit on what types of steam locomotives he can make, so I'm assuming he can make any type he wants. And assuming that's the case, Alan could crush his enemies with something like the 2666, the heaviest steam locomotive in the world, with the locomotive alone weighing in at a whopping 389 tons. But let's say the Vindicators needed a train with a little bit of horsepower behind it. In that case, Alan could whip up something like the 4468 Mallard, otherwise known as the Magnificent Mallard. Back in 1938, the Mallard was able to briefly reach speeds of 126 miles an hour or 203 kilometers an hour. Damn, what kind of damage could that type of train do if Alan decided to hit you with it? Well, to find that out, we need to use the formula for force, F equals m times a, or force equals mass times acceleration. The mass of the train's easy to figure out. It's been recorded as having a total weight of 184.8 tons. But what about the acceleration? Well, to find that out, we need to use the formula for, what else, acceleration. Acceleration equals final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time it took to reach that final velocity. Like I said earlier, the Mallard was capable of reaching a speed of 126 miles per hour or about 56 meters per second, so we can plug that in. As for the time, I'm gonna assume that Alan can get this hypothetical train to maximum speed in about 3 seconds. I went with 3 to be on the safe side, even though earlier in the episode we saw Alan make a ghost train that plowed through a wall in about 1 second. Anyways, plugging all those numbers into the formula, we get this, and doing the math means that this hypothetical ghost train has an acceleration of about 18 meters per second squared. Now that we know the acceleration, we can plug that into the formula for force, which would give us this, and doing the math on that means that if this hypothetical train hits you, then you'd be hit by a force of 3,017,659.32 newtons, or about 3 meganewtons. For comparison, the force generated by the thrust of the main engine of a space shuttle at liftoff only generates a force of 1,800,000 newtons, or 1.8 meganewtons. That means that if Alan Rails decided to make a ghost train version of the Mallard and hit you with it at full speed, then you'd be getting hit by almost twice the force of a space shuttle engine. Next up is Crocubot, the super redundant half-robot, half-crocodile cyborg parody.
So your origin is what? You fell into a vat of redundancy?
Now the robot part of him may not be all that clever at solving drunk Rick's puzzles, but remember, Crocubot's still a crocodile. He's still pretty damn strong. I mean, I don't really know what type of crocodile he's supposed to be, but assuming Crocubot's a saltwater crocodile, then that means he has a bite strength of 3,700 psi or 16,460 newtons. For comparison, humans have a bite strength of up to 200 psi or 890 newtons. That means Crocubot's bite is almost 20 times stronger than a normal human's bite, and that's not all. As we saw when he had to deal with Vance's flying severed legs, Crocubot also has a laser that can vaporize people. Yeah, I know, Vance isn't actually vaporized, you can see his blood and armor flying around, but I'm just gonna pretend he got vaporized since we don't actually see any of his blood or body parts after his legs got blown up, plus it makes this part of the video easier on me. But how strong would that laser have to be to vaporize someone? Well, according to a study from back in 2013, a laser capable of vaporizing someone would need 2.99 gigajoules of energy to actually work. How powerful is that? Well, to put it simply, you'd need more than 70 of the most powerful lasers on Earth to equal that energy discharge. Then there's Million Ants, who's made up of a million ants. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to him, outside of being a stone-cold murderer capable of bursting someone from the inside out. Now, to be honest, I have no idea how much pressure he was building up inside Alan Rails. I mean, there's not exactly a ton of research on how much internal pressure a human can withstand before they blow up like the enemies in Dig Dug, but we do know of at least one instance where a human being burst like that because of internal pressure. Back in 1983, there was an accident involving the decompression chamber of the drilling rig known as the Byford Dolphin. The chamber explosively decompressed, going from a pressure of 9 atmospheres to 1 atmosphere in less than a single second. One of the men involved in the accident wound up getting hit the hardest by the decompression, resulting in him literally bursting apart. Due to the way the guy was exposed to the explosive decompression, it's been estimated that he was hit with about 25 metric tons of pressure. Anyways, moving on, last but certainly not least, there's Supernova, the Starfire parody who, because of Rick's drunken escapades resulting in the deaths of both Vance and Crocubot, ends up accidentally helping Million Ants kill Alan Rails, goes insane, murders Million Ants by killing the queen ant inside of him, and nearly kills both Rick and Morty as part of her twisted revenge for all the deaths I just mentioned in the sentence. Outside of how unstable she is, Supernova is unsurprisingly the most powerful member of the Vindicators, since she pretty much has access to the energies of, what else, a supernova. I mean, it's in her name, and on top of that, she even said towards the end of the episode that the child she conceived with Million Ants was half collapsing star.
I conceived a child with million ants and it died inside me because it was half a million ants and half collapsing star!
As all my astronomy fans out there might know, collapsing stars, aka supernovas, have been estimated to release up to 200 tredecillion joules of energy. How powerful is that? Well, think about it like this. All the nuclear testing up till 1996 was recorded to have released about 2.13 million terajoules of energy, meaning just one supernova would be over 93 trillion times more powerful than all the nuclear energy mankind ever released since we started testing it. Holy hell, isn't that crazy? So that's pretty much it for the Vindicators, but I'm not ready to end the video just yet. I mean, who knows, there might be some of you out there going, okay, the Vindicators seem pretty powerful, but how powerful is their arch nemesis, Worldender? The thing is, Worldender literally doesn't do anything in this episode. I mean, even though he was built up in the promo for the episode as being this big, scary monster, the ultimate bad guy, blah blah blah, Rick apparently killed him and his minions super easily before the Vindicators even showed up. That having been said, we do have one clue as to how powerful he is. After the Vindicators find the bodies of his slaughtered minions, they mention that he's capable of destroying planets.
Well, he is the Worldender. Guy ends worlds. Kind of his thing.
Plus, you know, we could have just looked at his name, we'd get the same result. So how powerful would you need to be to destroy a planet? Well, we know that it takes 53 quadrillion megatons to destroy the Earth, but hey, we don't hear what kind of limits this dude has, right? So who's to say he can't destroy something bigger, like, say, Jupiter? To figure out how powerful you would need to be to destroy Jupiter, we'll need to figure out Jupiter's gravitational binding energy, which we can get by using the following formula. U equals 3gm squared divided by 5r, or 3 times the gravitational constant times the mass of our object squared divided by 5 times the object's radius. The gravitational constant is 6.67408 times 10 to the negative 11, so we can plug that into our formula. And the mass of Jupiter is 1.898 times 10 to the 27 kilograms, so we can plug that in too. And finally, the radius of Jupiter is 69,911 kilometers, so we can plug that in. Doing the math on this means that to destroy Jupiter, Worldender would need to be capable of generating 2 undecillion 64 decillion joules of energy, or over 493 quintillion megatons. For comparison, the Tsar bomb, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever developed, had a yield of 50 megatons. This means that if Worldender is capable of destroying a planet like Jupiter without any gadgets or help from his minions or anything like that, then he's over 9 quintillion times more powerful than the most powerful nuke ever made on Earth. Holy hell, the superheroes and villains in the Rick and Morty multiverse are pretty tough. I mean, I know they're mostly dead now, but seriously, can we see these guys show back up at some point on the show? Maybe as themselves from an alternate universe or in a piece of merchandise or something? We can hope at least, right? But anyways guys, that's how powerful the Vindicators are, or rather were. If you guys liked this video and you agreed with any of my calculations, or even if you didn't and you want to let me know that too, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.